Welcome to the pink side. My sister's magic ring turned me into her. I never meant to put it on. It was just lying there, glinting innocently on my sister's vanity table, silver, delicate, set with a strange iridescent gem that shimmered between purple and green depending on the light. I thought it was part of her cosplay costume, or something she picked up at one of those metaphysical shops she loved to visit. But the second I slipped it on my finger, everything changed. Let me back up. My name is Ryan. I'm 22, freshly graduated, and currently wasting my degree working as a barista while job hunting. I live with my sister Lena in a cramped but cozy two-bedroom apartment in the city. Lena's 3 years older than me and works as a part-time yoga instructor/witchy crystal girl. She's confident, loud, impossibly stylish, and never seems to care what people think.
Me?
I'm the opposite. Quiet, awkward, stuck in my head. And yes, there's something else. I've always had the secret. Something I've buried deep. I like dressing in girls' clothes. It started when I was 13. I'd sneak into Lena's room when she was out and try on her skirts, play with her lip gloss, just to see what it felt like. I told myself it was curiosity. Then I told myself it was stress relief. Now, I don't know what to call it anymore. I just know it never stopped. Not even when I started dating Emma. Emma's amazing. Smart, sarcastic, and way too pretty for someone like me. We've been together for almost a year, and I still haven't told her about that side of me. Because I'm scared. Not scared she'll leave, but scared she'll see me differently. Like I'm broken. Or worse, like I'm not a man. And lately I've been feeling this pull. Like I'm living two separate lives. One that she knows, and one that no one does. The day it all started was rainy and slow. Emma was out of town visiting her family. Lena had gone to a weekend retreat and left me home alone. I'd done all the usual stuff, laundry, video games, overthinking my life, and eventually wandered into her room. I wasn't trying to snoop. Not really. But Lena's room is like a treasure chest. Clothes everywhere, candles, strange books, makeup scattered across the desk like art supplies. I don't know what drew me to the ring exactly. It just called to me. So I picked it up and slid it on. At first, nothing happened. No lightning, no magical flash. I even laughed at myself. Then I looked in her full-length mirror. And blinked. My jawline was softer. My eyelashes longer. My hair had grown past my shoulders, dark brown and shiny. My waist looked narrower. My chest, no, wait. My chest? I gasped and stumbled backward, slamming into Lena's dresser. What the hell? My voice.
Even that had changed.
It was higher.
Breathy.
Feminine. I ran to the mirror again, heart hammering. Staring back, at me was
Lena.
Not exactly her, but close enough. My features had shifted, somewhere between me and my sister. I looked like her twin. Same lips, same posture. But my eyes, my terrified, shocked eyes, were still mine. I tried to pull the ring off. Nothing. It wouldn't budge. I tugged harder. Still nothing. My hands were shaking now, nails neatly manicured, fingers slender. My clothes hung awkwardly, my brotherly hoodie looking too big on a frame that clearly didn't match anymore. What the hell is happening to me? That's when Lena's voice echoed in my mind. Not real, just a memory. Don't touch the ring unless you're ready to understand yourself. She had told me once it was blessed, said it revealed your true form or deepest desire, depending on the wearer. I'd laughed it off. Now I wasn't so sure. I stumbled back to my room, locking the door behind me. I paced,
Cried.
breathed into a pillow, and then, slowly, I looked at myself again. Really looked. Despite the panic, there was something mesmerizing about it. My body moved with this strange grace. The curves felt natural. The way the mirror girl tilted her head, brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, it all felt like second nature. There was fear, yes, but also the spark. And that scared me most of all. Emma texted me that night. Miss you. Wish I was there. I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't reply. Because the person reading her message wasn't her boyfriend anymore. At least, not on the outside. What was I supposed to do? Stay like this? Wait for the ring to fall off. Or worse, wait for Lena to come home and find out what I'd done? And what if Emma showed up? My life, once safely split in two, had crashed together in a way I couldn't control. And deep inside, I knew. This wasn't just a transformation. It was a test of identity,
Desire.
and the truth I'd tried so hard to hide. The morning after the transformation, I woke up hoping it had been a dream. But as I rolled out of bed and saw my reflection in the closet mirror, reality slammed into me like a wave. I was still her. The same long legs, the same soft curves, the same unmistakable femininity that didn't belong to the Ryan the world knew. Only now, it wasn't just Lena's reflection. It was mine. I stepped in front of the mirror again, shirt hanging awkwardly off my body. My now smaller frame swam in the oversized tee. I ran my hands over my waist, now narrower than before, and then paused at my hips, curved, full. My arms, once lined with subtle muscle, now looked elegant, delicate. There was no mistaking it. Whatever this ring had done to me, it hadn't worn off. I tried again to yank it off, knuckles turning white as I twisted and pulled. Nothing. Not even a budge. Frustrated, I sat on the edge of the bed, heart pounding. This was insane. Magic wasn't real. This couldn't be real. But here I was, sitting in my own room, wearing my sister's body like a second skin. Later, I peeked into her room again. I half expected to find a spellbook or maybe a cursed scroll explaining how to undo it. Instead, I found a handwritten note taped to the inside of her closet. Don't break what wants to be whole. Whatever that meant. Underscore 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 underscore. I paced the apartment, hyper-aware of how I moved. Even walking felt different. My hips swayed slightly with every step. My balance was off, lighter, somehow more fluid. When I brushed against the counter with my hip, I flinched. Everything felt more sensitive,
Heightened.
I could smell the lavender in Lena's room from the hallway. I could feel every brush of fabric on my skin. And my voice. God, my voice. When I sighed in frustration, the sound that escaped my lips was soft, high, gentle. I sounded like a girl. I sounded like her. That's when I remembered the closet. Lena's closet. Her clothes. Her makeup. If I was going to be stuck like this, I couldn't just walk around in boxers and an old t-shirt. I needed something that fit. Something that made this feel less horrifying. I didn't want to look like a joke. I wanted to make sense in the mirror. I hesitated in the doorway, then slowly opened the closet. Rows of skirts, dresses, blouses. Colors I'd never dare wear as Ryan. Silks and satins, denim jackets, lacy camisoles. It was like a fashion boutique had exploded in there. My hands trembled as I reached for a soft lilac tank top and a pair of slim jeans. I carried them into the bathroom and shut the door behind me. Taking off the loose shirt felt like shedding my old self. Sliding on the tank was a revelation. It clung to my body like it belonged. The jeans were snug, hugging my hips perfectly. When I turned toward the mirror, I gasped. It wasn't Lena I saw. It was me. Still unfamiliar, yes, but not foreign anymore. I saw the way the neckline curved softly over my chest. The way the jeans defined my waist. The gentle arch of my brows. The way I tucked my hair behind my ear instinctively, like I'd done it 1,000 times. I wasn't pretending. I was becoming. But I wasn't ready to face the world. I stayed home all day, jumping at every sound. Every footstep outside the door made my stomach twist. What if Lena came back early? What if Emma dropped by? What if someone saw me like this? At one point, my phone buzzed. A message from Emma. Miss you. Home tomorrow. Movie night. I stared at it for a long time. Tomorrow. She was coming tomorrow. Panic started creeping in again. I stood in the living room, breathing hard, staring at my reflection in the dark TV screen. This wasn't just about clothes anymore. It wasn't about a ring. This was about everything I'd tried to hide, every part of me I'd locked away, shoved deep into my mind like a shameful secret. But now it was out, and it looked free. I sat on the couch, legs tucked under me like Lena always did, and whispered to myself, I should be terrified. And yet, I kind of like this. Suddenly, a knock at the door. 3 sharp raps. I froze. Was it Lena? Emma? A neighbor? I tiptoed to the peephole, heart hammering. It was Nick, our neighbor from 2 doors down. Nosy. Friendly. Sometimes too friendly. He knocked again. Hey, Ryan? You home? Got your mail by mistake. I panicked, backed away from the door. He couldn't see me like this. He'd tell everyone. I waited. Eventually, he left the envelope on the mat and walked off. I sank to the floor, heart racing. That was too close. As the sun went down, I found myself back in the mirror. Full face still unfamiliar, but more intriguing. I touched my lips, then picked up Lena's mascara from the counter. Just one swipe, I told myself. Just one. I told myself it was just curiosity. One swipe of mascara. But by the time I stepped away from Lena's vanity table, I had done a full face. Foundation.
Concealer. Blush.
Lip gloss. Winged eyeliner that somehow came out perfect on the first try. It was muscle memory, only it shouldn't have been mine. But that was the strangest part. It felt natural. Like my hands knew where to go. Like this body remembered. When I looked up into the mirror, I didn't see Ryan anymore. Not even a trace. Not even in the eyes. The girl staring back at me had Lena's bone structure. Yes, but something softer. Gentler. Meeker. She looked thoughtful. Unsure. Almost shy. Her lips were slightly parted, gloss catching the light. Her cheeks flushed a gentle rose. Her collarbones peeked out from under the lilac tank top. She looked like someone I'd want to know. And something inside me stirred. Something I couldn't ignore anymore. I turned to the side, watching how the curve of my hips filled out the jeans. How the mascara opened up my lashes. How the gloss made my mouth look kissable. I touched my cheek with the back of my knuckles, lightly. My skin was soft. Not just shaved soft, but feminine. My voice, when I whispered, "Is this really me?" sent shivers down my spine. Because it didn't sound wrong. It didn't sound fake. It sounded like home. Then came the sound that shattered everything. The click of a key in the front door. I froze. Lena wasn't supposed to be back until Sunday. But I'd forgotten. She always came back a day early when she got bored. I scrambled, wiping my lips, smearing mascara across my cheek in the process. Crap, crap, crap. The door swung open. "Ryan," she called. I slammed her bedroom door shut and pressed my back against it, heart racing. "Ryan." Her voice was closer now. I heard her boots on the hardwood. The jingle of keys as she tossed them into the bowl. I was halfway through trying to unzip the jeans when I realized the ring was still on my finger. Still locked in place. Still glowing faintly in the dim bedroom light. Knock, knock. "You in there?" I said nothing.
Couldn't speak.
Could barely breathe. Knock, knock. Firmer. "I know you're home. Your shoes are here." I turned toward the mirror again, my face half smeared, panic in my eyes. And yet, a small part of me didn't want to wipe it all off. Didn't want to hide. Lena tried the knob.
Locked.
"Okay, seriously. What the hell are you doing in my room?" I opened my mouth. And for the first time I tried it, her voice. I just needed something. Lena went quiet. Then, slowly. "Ryan?" I held my breath. "Is that your voice?" Silence. Then another knock, this time softer. "Open the door." I didn't move. "Ryan," she said again. "Please. Open the door." Something in her voice, calm, patient, curious, broke through my fear. I unlocked it and opened it just a crack. Her eyes widened. She took a slow step back.
"Oh, my God."
She stared. I stood there, unable to speak. The blush on my cheeks. The mascara.
The ring.
The fact that I looked like her.
Almost exactly.
You put it on, she whispered. I nodded. I told you not to. I didn't know it was real, I shot back. Her eyes were wide, but not angry, just stunned. She stepped forward again, brushing a strand of hair out of my face. You look like me. I am you. I think.
No, she said. You're you.
Just in my image. We stared at each other, and then she smiled. I'm impressed, she said. What? You blended that eyeshadow better than I do. I blinked. You're not mad. She shook her head. It's not a punishment, Ryan. That ring, it's powerful. It brings out what you're hiding, what you don't want to admit to yourself. I looked down. I didn't mean for this to happen. But now that it has, she asked, how do you feel? I swallowed and said the truth out loud for the first time. I feel right. She nodded slowly, then walked to her vanity, grabbed some micellar water, and handed it to me. You want to clean up before Emma comes over? I flinched. She's coming tomorrow, I said. No, Lena corrected. She texted me. Her bus got bumped. She's on her way now. My blood ran cold. What? You've got about 20 minutes. I ran to my room, pulled off the jeans, grabbed baggy sweats, a hoodie, tried to rub the makeup off without ruining my skin. The ring still wouldn't come off. My face still hers. My body still not mine. The doorbell rang. And just like that, time ran out. The doorbell rang again. I stood frozen in my bedroom, my heart pounding so loud I could barely hear Lena whispering from the living room. Ryan, what do you want to do? I peeked at the mirror one last time. The hoodie did its best to hide my figure, but the curves were still there, undeniable. The soft lines of my face, the fullness of my lips, the delicate collarbone that peeked out from the neckline. It was all still so not me. Except it was me now. The knock came again. I could feel my pulse in my ears. Lena called out, I'll get it. She gave me a knowing glance before heading to the front door. I stayed back, my breath shallow, eyes fixed on the narrow crack of my bedroom door. Emma, I heard Lena say, with forced cheer. That was fast. Yeah, the bus wasn't as late as they said. You look surprised. I just didn't expect you for another few hours. Is Ryan here? My stomach tightened. Yeah, he's around. Let me grab him. Lena peeked her head into my room, closing the door behind her. You've got maybe 60 seconds. What do you want to do? I looked down at myself, then back up. I don't know. I can't face her like this. But if I hide, she'll think something's wrong. Lena sighed. You can stay in here. I'll distract her. Say you're in the shower or something. I shook my head.
No.
If I hide now, it'll just make it worse later. I should tell her. Her eyebrows lifted. Tell her what, exactly? That I tried something. That I made a mistake. That I stopped myself. Was it a mistake? Or was that just fear talking? Lena stepped aside and opened the door. Come on. I'll go with you. I took one trembling step into the hallway. Emma was standing in the kitchen, dropping her overnight bag next to the counter. She wore her favorite soft pink hoodie and ripped jeans, her hair a little damp from the light rain outside. When she turned around, her eyes landed on me. Her smile froze. Her brow furrowed. And for a moment, just a moment, she said nothing. Hi, I said softly. Emma blinked, then laughed nervously. Lena? I shook my head. She looked me over again. Her mouth opened, then closed. Ryan. I nodded. She stared, then blinked again. Then, is this some kind of prank? I shook my head slowly, chest tight. It's not. Emma looked to Lena, who just crossed her arms and leaned against the counter like this was normal. Okay, Emma said carefully. Is someone gonna explain why my boyfriend looks like his sister's clone? I opened my mouth. No words came. So Lena stepped in. He found the ring. Emma turned to her. The ring. You know, the one I told you about? From the festival shop? The weird one with the opal gem. Emma frowned. The one you said was enchanted? You were serious about that? Lena nodded. And he put it on? Yup. Emma looked back at me. So, this is real? Again, I nodded. She looked me over again. I could see it, the disbelief, the confusion, the hurt. You did this without telling me? I finally found my voice. It wasn't on purpose. I just found it.
Put it on.
I didn't think anything would happen. And now. I swallowed. Now I can't take it off. She stared. I took a deep breath. And part of me doesn't know if I want to. Silence. Lena quietly left the room, giving us space. Emma walked over to the table and sat down slowly. I followed, sitting across from her, my hands trembling. You look different, she said finally. I feel different. Emma's voice softened. Do you feel like yourself? I hesitated. I don't know. Sometimes yes. Sometimes too much. She studied me. I wish you'd told me, she said quietly. I was scared. Of me. Of what you'd think. Of what it meant. Of what I might want if I let myself go there. Emma took my hand. I flinched, but didn't pull away. Her thumb brushed the top of mine, right where the silver ring still sat, warm and pulsing faintly with light. This isn't just about the ring, is it? I looked up at her, and slowly shook my head. She gave a tiny nod, then leaned in and whispered, Then maybe it's time you find out who you really are. The hours passed like a dream, except it was all too real. Emma didn't leave. She didn't yell, didn't walk away, didn't try to fix me. Instead, she sat beside me on the bed, listened to everything. I told her about the first time I tried on Lena's clothes when I was 13. About the guilt, the thrill. About all the nights I wished I could just be someone else. Someone who didn't have to carry this weight. She asked if I'd ever thought about transitioning. I told her the truth. I don't know. And that was enough.
For now.
Later, she helped me with my makeup, really helped me. Not just wiping mascara or giving tips, but hands-on. She sat in front of me on the floor, brushing my hair, adding blush to my cheeks, even helping me pick out a soft pink dress from Lena's closet. I think Riley suits you, she said. Riley. She smiled. It fits. Don't you think? I looked at myself in the mirror and nodded. Riley, I said aloud. It didn't feel like a costume. It felt like permission. Emma kissed my cheek. You're beautiful. Tears welled in my eyes. But before I could speak, there was a knock on the door. Not the front door. The apartment door was locked. This knock was from the hallway inside Lena's room. Emma and I exchanged confused looks. And then Lena screamed. We rushed to her room. She was standing by the mirror, pale, staring at her reflection. Only, it wasn't her reflection. It was mine. Or, it should have been mine. Except it wasn't just me in the mirror. It was Riley. And she was moving. Even though we weren't. What the? Emma gasped. Riley in the mirror was smiling. Smiling back at us. Then she reached up and tapped the glass. The ring on her hand glowed. Mine glowed back. Pain shot through my palm. I screamed. The ring burned hot on my skin. So hot, I thought it would sear right through my bones. I dropped to my knees. Lena grabbed my hand. The ring was pulsing, brighter and brighter. The mirror Riley laughed, soundless but eerie. Then she mouthed something. 3 words. Stay like me.
And the mirror shattered.
Shards of glass exploded across the room. Emma pulled me back just in time, covering me with her body. Lena shrieked. The lights flickered. And the ring on my finger went dark. Completely. When I opened my eyes, the mirror was gone. Every shard had vanished. Like it was never there. But my reflection, still Riley. Still the girl. Lena was shaken. I've never seen it react like that, she whispered. It's like it took your choice. What do you mean? She knelt beside me. The ring doesn't just show your truth, it anchors it. And if you're not sure who you are, it chooses for you. My stomach dropped. Emma helped me sit up. So, I'm stuck like this? Lena didn't answer, but her silence was enough. Emma took me into the living room. I was shaking, hands trembling, heart pounding. I didn't want this, I said. Not forever. Not yet. I know, she said gently. But maybe a part of you did. I stared down at the ring.
It was dull now.
The stone looked like nothing more than faded glass.
Dead.
Just then another knock. A real one.
At the front door this time.
3 fast raps. Then silence. Emma peeked through the peephole. Her face went pale. It's your mom. My blood turned to ice.
What?
Why is she here? I don't know, but she's holding a suitcase. Lena appeared behind us. She wasn't supposed to come till next week. Emma backed away from the door. I looked down at myself. Pink dress, long hair, soft lips. Panic surged again. She can't see me like this. Lena shook her head. You need to hide.
Now.
I turned to run back into the bedroom, but the ring flashed. Just once. And every lock on the door clicked open. Emma screamed. Lena yelled, "Run." But I stood frozen as the doorknob turned. The door creaked open, and there stood my mom. Face blank, eyes wide, bags in hand. She looked at me, then at Lena, then back at me. "Hello," she said slowly. I'm sorry. I think I walked into the wrong apartment." I tried to speak.
My mouth was dry. No, Mom.
"It's me." She stared harder. Then her eyes narrowed. "Ryan." The silence was deafening. Her face shifted, confusion melting into recognition, and then into something else. Hurt, disappointment, fear. To break the silence, I whispered, "I'm Riley now." Her suitcase hit the floor. The suitcase hit the floor with a dull thud. My mother's mouth parted slightly, but she didn't speak. Not right away. She looked me up and down, eyes darting to the soft neckline of my pink dress, the mascara still clinging to my lashes, the delicate shape of my face. She looked at my hair, now slightly curled from Emma's flat iron. Then finally to my hand, to the ring. "That's Lena's," she said quietly. Lena stepped forward, protective. "It's more than that." "I can see that," Mom said flatly. Her voice was unreadable, controlled, too calm. But her eyes were storming. I wanted to hide, to run, to disappear into the floor. Instead, I stood there, legs trembling in the soft heels Lena had insisted I try. My voice was trapped in my throat, no matter how hard I tried to find it. Then she said it. The word. "What is this, costume?" I flinched. Lena bristled. "It's not a costume." Emma moved closer too, her arm brushing mine. "She didn't choose this." "Not entirely." Mom blinked. She asked. And I nodded. "I think I'm her now." Silence. The air thickened like fog. Mom picked up the suitcase slowly and stepped into the apartment fully.
"You're my son," she said.
I was. A tear slipped down my cheek. She didn't move, didn't wipe it, didn't offer a hand. Lena finally said, the ring showed her something true. Something she couldn't admit. She. Mom echoed again, as if testing the word on her tongue and choking on it. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I didn't want it to happen like this." Mom's shoulders sagged. She looked so tired, so lost. I don't even know what to say to you. You don't have to say anything." "I have to," she said, finally breaking. "You're my child." I walked to her, each step uncertain, barely audible over the thudding in my chest. And then I stopped in front of her, close enough to see my reflection in her eyes. A girl she didn't recognize. "You're not the boy I raised," she said. I nodded. "I know." She reached out, touched my face gently, and whispered, "But you look like your sister did the night of her first dance." That's when I realized. She wasn't angry. Not truly. She was grieving. She didn't see me as a stranger. She saw me as a ghost. A shadow of who I once was. I took her hand in mine. She didn't pull away. "I'm still me," I said. Just a version I never had the courage to be. Tears welled in her eyes. "I need time," she whispered. "I know." She nodded slowly and walked toward the guest room, closing the door softly behind her. The three of us stood in the silence that followed. Lena exhaled. Well, that could have gone worse. Emma hugged me. I didn't realize how badly I needed that until her arms were around me. That night, as I sat on the edge of my bed, brushing out my now familiar curls, I looked down at the ring. Still dull. Still unmoving. But it didn't matter anymore. Because for the first time, I didn't need it to tell me who I was. I already knew. I was Riley. Or, at least, that's what I thought. Until the ring glowed again. Just once. Then it pulsed a second time. And the mirror behind me shimmered. A different girl was staring back. Not Lena. Not Riley. Someone new. And she mouthed one word. Next.